How's it going, everybody? I'm Digit, and this is the Streetcast. Today is August 23rd, 2020, and this is episode 12. Today we're going to be talking about DC FanDome. So if you're unaware, since San Diego Comic-Con has been, well, definitely put off due to this whole COVID stuff, DC, that usually drops all of their trailers, announcements at Comic-Con, decided, you know what, we're going to have our own fan event. So they did, and they dropped a ton of trailers, information, and just some new stuff for the public here. So let's get the small stuff out of the way really quick because we want to talk about Batman and some Suicide Squid. That's, of course, Suicide Squad, but I'm going to call it Suicide Squid just because I don't like that IP at all. All right. First, Black Adam. Black Adam. The Rock is playing a bad guy. I'm excited to see that, but the movie looks bad. Next. Gotham Knights, a video game where you play as all the Bat people, Robin, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Nightwing in a world where Batman has been killed or disappeared. Is Batman dead? No, he's probably involved in like a Court of Owls thing. If you're unaware what that is, Court of Owls is a storyline in which Batman gets involved, gets captured by a secret society with not a Batman, but an Owl Man or something like that. I don't know. So it looks like you get to play as Robin, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Nightwing and try and save Gotham. So pretty much an Arkham-style game where you don't play as Batman. Cool. All right. So that's the the smaller stories from the announcement. Of course, there's some other stuff. There's a Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. That's an awful movie. Awful. I am not a fan of it at all. But everybody's so excited for the Zack Snyder's cut for some reason. Ugh, you know what? To you, if you're excited for the Zack Snyder's cut, I want to say, come back to me after it released, and we'll have a conversation to see if it really changed how that movie went. Because for that movie to be good, you'd have to add another hour, which might be what they're doing, but we'll see. Okay, of course, they also dropped a Wonder Woman 1984 trailer. I don't know what it is about DC and their movies, and this is with everything but the Batman trailer. It all looks like it was made for a made-for-TV CW movie. Marvel does a good job of making it look like it exists in its own universe, but DC tries realistic, and then when something has to look comic booky, it just doesn't look good at all. And that's what Wonder Woman 1984 looks like. It looks like they tried to make a Wonder Woman movie that was realistic, and it just doesn't mesh well. But you know what? The original Wonder Woman movie was pretty good. It wasn't as good as a lot of Marvel's outings. But for a DC movie, Wonder Woman was good. 1984, I like the vibe, and we'll see how it turns out. But still, the aesthetic just doesn't look as good as a Marvel movie. Cool. Next up, let's talk about the man himself, the Batman. So, Robert Pattinson is now Batman. And let me tell you, I didn't know how it would go, but it looks really, really good so far. I'm going to start from the top and just say this is a spoiler discussion about the trailer of the Batman, the trailer of the Suicide Squad stuff. I know I should have said that for Gotham Knights, Black Adam, and all that, but we've only got a little bit of a tease for those guys. This is might be some spoilers for this because I am discussing the trailers, so just putting that out there for you all. Okay. The Batman looks like it was taken straight out of an Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Arkham City, whatever, the Arkham games. It looks like it was pulled straight out of that, and I love it. It looks gritty, it looks comic booky, and I'm so excited to see it. One, because I love brutal Batman. The one scene in Batman v Superman where he's rescuing Soup's mom, whose name is Martha, and he just beats the living shit out of all those grunts. Oh my God. And it looked like it was exactly from the video game. He was using different levels of like grappling hook and using everything at his disposal. I really dug it, and he was just brutal. And it's the same thing in this trailer. So here, I'm going to play a little bit from this trailer real quick, have y'all listen to it, and a little bit of a beatdown.
The hell are you supposed to be?
love it. So if you haven't seen the trailer yet, what you just heard is him punching a grunt, breaking his arm, bringing him to the ground, punching him more after he had already knocked him out, just beating the shit out of him. And I love it because, they've always said that Batman is supposed to be this scary character that when people see him, they are physically and mentally afraid. And we haven't seen, even in Christopher Nolan's Batman, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen a scary Batman. Batman v Superman tried to do that, very much so tried. But again, they were awful movies. Even the Justice League was an awful movie. I think this is the first time we are going to get a scary Batman that beats the actual shit out of people, puts them in the hospital and knows he's doing it kind of thing. And again, that goes right back to the Arkham video games. It looks like that. It looks like Batman is, if you see Batman, you might get your shit kicked in. And I love it. It just makes sense for the character too, for that realistic thing. But let's talk more about Robert Pattinson as Batman. I hope, and this might sound crazy, but I hope this is a kickstart for his career. He has had a career in smaller roles. They're getting bigger, but ever since Twilight, he's been considered the Twilight guy, right? Batman might be a good launch for his career to step out of that and be considered as Batman, and then hopefully get bigger roles because, it's Batman. If you're Batman, you're going to get bigger roles. But honestly, there's a lot of actors out there. Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds started as chick flicks, and now, Ryan Gosling is considered a great actor. Ryan Reynolds, when he wants to be, is a great actor, even though he's done a lot of comedy stuff. But, they had to hardly kickstart their career. Even Harrison Ford, who has done some pretty serious stuff, started on Star Wars and other small projects. And all it takes is one movie like Star Wars to blow up and kick off your career. And while Robert Pattinson has had the smaller roles and even the iconic ones in Twilight when he was young, I really hope that this role as Batman is able to kickstart his career into more serious roles to where he can get better work. All right. Other than that, the Riddler is the villain in this one, it looks like. It looks like we have a Riddler villain. And I'm excited to see it. We haven't seen a Riddler Batman movie and probably since Jim Carrey had the role in his crazy green suit, acting beside all that. Yeah, that's woo. So it's a different Riddler. It's not a happy-go-lucky Riddler anymore. This looks like a dark Riddler. All in all, I'm very excited for this film. It's new. It's a new style. It's not the shitty Justice League Batman v Superman look. It's not that. And it's not the controlled, visionary Nolan Batman. And I say visionary just because Christopher Nolan always tells a crazy story. The Dark Knight is arguably one of the best movies ever made. Will it be that? I don't think so. But I think this Batman that we're going to see in Robert Pattinson is going to be something new and a very much of a mesh between a Nolan Batman and a, what do they call it? Affleck. Whatever Ben Affleck's Batman was called. I forget what the name for it was. Batflick. That's what it was. It's going to be a cross between the grittiness of a Batflick and the storytelling of a Nolan Batman. So super excited to see that. Next up, the Suicide Squid. So there's multiple Suicide Squad related things coming out in the next coming days, or in the next coming years, actually. There's the Suicide Squad, the game, and then there's the Suicide Squad, which is the movie. So we're going to talk about the game Suicide Squad. So it's got the normal Suicide Squad vibe, the dark humor with bad guys and the crazy Harley Quinn and, Deadshot and all that stuff. But what this one has is that your premise is to kill the good guys. So in the trailer, your target to kill is Superman. It looks like an alternate universe thing where Superman might be a baddie and all the other guys are baddies. So it looks like in this game, your goal is to kill the Justice League. So it's an interesting premise, right? It'd be pretty cool to hunt down Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Batman as Harley Quinn and all these these just smaller characters. I think that's a fun premise for a game. I'm hesitant to say I'm excited for it because it does look like it could just turn out to be another But it is a good premise, and I will give them that. Haven't seen any gameplay yet because it was a theatrical trailer, but I will give them, I want to see more. I want to see more of Suicide Squad, the game, the Suicide Squid. So let's talk about it next. The movie, which is aptly titled The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. So if you don't know, James Gunn had some controversy recently. It was just social media controversy, honestly. Wasn't that big of a deal. Wasn't anything major, but he got kicked out of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And then DC said, holy shit, James Gunn is available. Hire him for the Suicide Squid. So they did. And since then, his controversy has blown over and they've re-invited him back to Guardians of the Galaxy. But because of that, Guardians of the Galaxy has been pushed far into the future. And because of coronavirus, pushed even further into the future. So thanks to Marvel for acting like that so quickly. Anyway, but he has gone to the Suicide Squad, the movie, to direct it. Now, I want to say that is exciting because all the Guardians of the Galaxy films are good. All right. One of my best experiences in a theater is the original Guardians of the Galaxy opening night. No one knew what they were watching, and the magic that I saw and the happiness in everyone's eyes, I'm not exaggerating that. It was an amazing experience. And I've seen awesome movies in theaters, but just the pure happiness when Star-Lord started dancing during the intro and shooting the little alien rats. It was funny. It was cool. And he just nailed that vibe. That's the James Gunn everyone wants to see. And DC grabbed him for the Suicide Squid. Am I excited for this movie? We'll see. The reason I'm excited is because they only released two things. They released a comic book style reveal of all the characters and their names and roles, blah, blah, blah. It was like turning a page, a small movement, nothing major, just to show faces, names, and stuff. But they also did a showcase where they went behind the scenes with some stuff, that little highlight reel behind the scenes thing. John Cena's in it. I'm excited to see him. But one of the things I have noticed is that they're focusing a lot on James Gunn. It's like they're using the Suicide Squad movie as a way to make James Gunn's redemption. No, he doesn't need redemption. He's made amazing movies, and he's going to continue to make funny, great action movies. That worries me. A movie should advertise itself on its own legs as its own production, as its own product. But instead it seems like they're focusing a lot on James Gunn and how amazing James Gunn is and how great James Gunn is. Now this is going to be his biggest film ever. And I don't like that. It makes me nervous because I do like James Gunn. Everyone likes James Gunn because of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But everyone didn't like the Suicide Squad movie you came out with in 2016. So are you just trying to focus on James Gunn to make us stop thinking about that awful movie you made? Do you not trust the movie so you're having to use the reputation of the director? I don't know. I really don't. I know for a fact, though, that I want to see more. I want to see an actual trailer of the Suicide Squid before I stop calling it the Suicide Squid. Because them focusing so much on James Gunn makes me nervous that the movie isn't good. All right. Well, that wraps up the discussion on the DC FanDome. If you want a highlight and a good article that shows all the trailers, information, blah, 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 release dates that they know right now, go to The Verge. Article is titled, here you are,
DC FanDome, the 9 biggest announcements.
Written by
Julia Alexander.
There you go. So search that up, give that a read, and just scroll down, and it's got all the trailers that you can check out from there. But super excited to see the Batman. Batman's easy. Everyone knows how to nail Batman. There's been so much stuff there. Make him gritty, make him good, and it looks like they're going that route. However, the other stuff, the Suicide Squid, the Black Adam, Wonder Woman, this other stuff makes me a little nervous. Just DC hasn't figured it out yet. They just haven't. So they got a little more to do there. All right. That lets us move on to the next thing. We were talking about TikTok, Microsoft, Apple, a lot of that other stuff last week and the week before. If you want a rerun and explanation of what all that means, go check out episode 10 and episode 9, or episode 11, episode 10, one of the two. And that goes through all that. We do have some updates regarding the court cases and all that. They're just suing each other. Everybody's suing each other. So nothing major there, but that's just a quick update regarding the cases. All right. That is going to wrap up our discussion of the news for the week. So this is our personal discussion here. I want to say this to all the listeners real quick. Thank you for checking it out. I've got a couple of buddies, couple of friends who checks out my YouTube videos, who listens in on the podcast. Thank you for doing that. It means a lot. You know, it's something that I do for fun, and I hope that you all have fun listening. This day, you get a lot of quick money cash grabs, but this truly is something that I look forward to doing every week, every Sunday. And what I have going on in the future isn't going to allow me to do it as well as I usually like to. I will be away from my home for the next 2 months. And then I have to travel again when I get back. But I will have my gear to travel with me when I get back. But I have to fly out tomorrow. So what that means is that the podcast will go on. The show must go on, ladies and gentlemen. But the audio quality won't be as good, for sure. And maybe there won't be a lot of gameplay or any gameplay. So we are going to have to shift over the next couple of weeks. But I do want to give a shout out to my friends, to the random viewers out there who have gotten this far. Thank you. This is something I enjoy doing, and I really appreciate you checking it out. And I hope that in the coming weeks and in the coming months, as the quality gets a little worse just due to the situation that I'm going to be put in, you know, I hope you can continue to give me feedback and let me know how things are. I'm going to do the best that I can to keep things as clean as they have been. All right. I believe that wraps up this week's episode. I don't have much else to talk about, but again, there will be an episode this coming week. It might not be as long, and audio quality might not be as good, but I promise you there will be something. So look out for that. Regarding the YouTube channel, I know this week I didn't upload a highlight video. So if you are interested in seeing highlight videos, just go to YouTube, type that's Indigo Mike _digit. You can check it out there. What I usually do is I create a video, one audio, which is the highlight video, is all the audio from the gameplay, the shots, the reaction, stuff like that. And then this episode or this video will be the actual podcast audio, just the same visuals and everything. I do that usually. I'm going to have to stop doing that this week just because of time constraints and me traveling tomorrow. And over the next couple of weeks, probably for the next 2 months, it'll be that way. It'll only be the podcast video, if even that gets uploaded, because I don't think I'm going to have great internet. But, oh well, you know, I'll do the best that I can, and I hope that y'all continue to listen. Cool. With that, I think that wraps everything up. I enjoyed making this. I hope y'all enjoyed listening. Thanks again. Y'all have a great, great day.